Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bridgewalkers. We are so excited to be here today. I am Michele Amburgey. We have Rev Ned. We have Dana Sparkles. And we are ready to rock and roll with all of you guys. You know, today we're bringing ceremony to you. You may have been able to tell by the title that of our show today. We are bringing ceremony to you. We're removing the veils of fears and we're bringing a ceremony of love. When we get together and we talk, we always talk about every single one of our shows being a ceremony, being something that is sacred, a sacred place. And this time we're really stepping into that concept of ceremony. We're sharing that concept with you so that you guys can step into this place with us. So what we're doing is together, we're opening this space of love. And with that love comes authenticity. And we were talking about this. It's like so often many of us try to be perfect, or we try to be the image or a way that we think we're supposed to be. And love, true love, really is about authenticity, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome. And so we're bringing that into the space with you when we invite you to bring that in too, because you are sacred, perfect, and whole, exactly how you are. And we want to remove those veils of fear that keep us from being who we are, that keep us from opening up, that keep us from authenticity, and that keep us from each other and even the divine, the creator, that holy space. And so let's let these veils of fears drop away today. Let's let all of that drop away and let's walk this bridge together. Let's be together in this. So we're going to start with a prayer, and then we're going to move into Rev Ned's amazing videos, and then we'll see what's going to happen. We've got an outline, but you know what? We let divine roll from this point forward. So let's see what happens. Also, we want to welcome everybody who's here. I'm going to open up this chat real quick. Once we get rolling, I'll open up the chat so that we can see your comments. And we so appreciate your comments. You are a part of this show. You guys are all a part of what is happening here. And so we'd love to hear what you have to say too. So let's all take a nice deep breath. Let's just breathe in. And as we release our breath into this container, into this space, into this sacred space. And we just say, beloved presence of love, I am. Be with us. And precious love, we seek you today through the veils of fear, and we call to you to show yourself within our hearts and within our lives. Beloved love, help us to remember who we are as your precious children, and show us how much you love us, that we might remember that we are truly loved. And let love show itself everywhere around us so that we might learn the ways of love, and help us to know love when we see it. And precious love, I am. Activate the seeds of love within us that were planted long ago from the very heart of our Creator. Love is the reason that we were created. And we give permission for that love that our Creator has for us, that love that rests in every cell of our body, within our very DNA. We give permission for that to awaken. And we give permission for love to rise like an eagle and to beat within our own hearts. And we can leave everything behind, the anger, the shame, the guilt, and the fear. And we turn towards our own true natures, the nature of our Creator. And we turn towards love. And we say yes right now. And our lives become a ceremony of pure love. Every breath is a ceremony. Every thought becomes ceremony. Every word we speak imbued with this love is a ceremony. And the veils crumble and fall from our lives. and love becomes our way. We have chosen, and we begin by loving ourselves, because that is where Creator is, within. And we can say together, I am love. Yes, I am. And I invite you to take a breath and just breathe this in and allow yourself to open to the space that we've created to be here together. And then we just bring ourselves back, bringing back ourselves back in that full presence, that full essence of love. And then we open up to our beloved Rev Ned to share with us about his video as we prepare to put that up. I know it's going to be fun. This is my favorite part of the show. That and Dana's songs and the rest of it too. The whole thing is my favorite. So RevNed, what have you got for us today?
First of all, thank you for the prayer and your energies coming off of you. I just wanted to, I'm asking people in the video to do something 12 times.
Ooh.
And I was nudged with that number. Positive energy, progressive energy, a blend. It's the blend of 1 and 2, right? Mm-hmm. 1 is fresh starts, something new, and 2 is partnership. I see it more as oneness with all that is. And if you think about, there's 12 hours in the day,
right?
12 months in the year, 12 signs of the zodiac. Yeah. So it's an integral number for us. And as I say, it has BSP, big spiritual power. And I just wanted to share that and enjoy. And the wife and I have so much fun creating these when we go to these bridges. Enjoy.
They're so good. All righty. Let us begin.
Hello, very sacred ones. Welcome to this edition of Bridgewalkers entitled Removing the Veils of Fear, a Ceremony of Love. We are here looking at Sycamore Bluffs Bridge, where you can see the supports. What are your bridge supports for your life? Fear or pure love? To kind of do a little ceremony and thought process. Every time I say these 3 words, let me share, I will ring the Tibetan bowl, and you say, I'm a bridge of pure love with intent. Put your hand over your heart if you so desire. Let me share. This love has no strings attached, just pure love, or no conditions have to be met. Pure love is a bridge to the mystical more for us. Within us, beyond us, it flows freely in creation, in the cosmos, and it can freely flow from within each one of us. Rev experiences this unconditional love each day, connecting my divine sparks with all that is. Our world needs more precious souls like you walking on the bridge of pure love. Let me share about fear. For so many precious souls, fear is a bridge they cross each day. It's very important to look at this 4-letter word, F-E-A-R. The last 3 letters are ear. These are the portals where most fear comes into us, our ears. It is so important to be aware of what sounds, energies, vibrations we allow to enter these portals. Do we realize what energies are coming through our TVs, radios, cell phones, newspapers, movies, and music, and whatever else media we utilize? Let me share. Fear does have a purpose and can teach us deep truths about ourselves and others. But we are not to let fear embrace us and build bridge supports in our life. Fear is a signpost, if you will. To be aware of these energies called fear, we need to know where where they're coming from, within ourselves or beyond us, flowing into us, or both. When fear comes to Rev, I've learned from the energies of fear, thank these energies, what I've learned, wrap them in pure love, and release them. I've seen dark entities and energies dissolve many times, flowing in pure love. Pure love is in you. You have divine sparks within you that is a bridge to the cosmic pure love. You are a powerful being of light. There's no fear in pure love. I came back from my near-death experience to share about pure love and how everyone is a cosmic gift like you. Religions, governments, media, workplaces, and coaches utilize fear. In pure love, fear cannot hang around and abuse you. Well, Rev, you may say, I enjoy the news. Is it possible your authentic joy has been hijacked? Let me share. Removing the veil of fear for our show topic comes from the Greek word apocalypse, which means to remove the veil, to uncover like a veil of a bride. You have the complete authority to uncover the veil of fear in your life. Let me share. Pure love is a much higher energy that can flow freely from us and can cause transformation and is the fuel to fulfill why we came here to the 3D land. Let me share a ceremony of love. You are a ceremony of love. A ceremony, a sacred gathering with purpose and components and ritual and honoring yourselves. Our friend Jason Atkins states there are two important energy celebrations in our life: when we come into this dimension and when we depart this dimension. This is your opening and closing of your ceremony, if you will, in your current life. In this current life. What bridge are you going to build? Everything between these ceremonial energies is up to you, precious one. How sacred can your daily ceremony be? Let me share what type of bridge you build in the ceremony of your life. You're responsible for your energies, awesome one. Simply put, you have the ability to respond. Ceremony is an alignment of your energies throughout your life to the cosmos, to the authentic you. Ceremony for Rev is very sacred. Ceremony brings connectedness and oneness with all that is. Ceremony is thanking, it's awareness, releasing, it's celebrating your divine uniqueness and your divine connections. Let me share. Ceremony is a bridge we walk each day. Why? You are ceremony, a walking, breathing ceremony. Every day is a gift to wrap, even of the good and the bad and the beautiful and the not so beautiful. When we do ceremonies, Rev brings this sacred bundle in a cedar box and places these meaningful sacred items in a special loving way to create an altar to make incredible connections. Let me share, cosmic ones. You are a celestial ceremony, a sacred altar because your life has purpose. You are filled with uncountable potentials, and you are crammed full of talents and abilities and gifts. Do you realize how powerful you are as you fly around the galaxy in our solar system at 500,000 miles per hour? You are a cosmic being. You are a cosmic being of the mystical born. Your divine energies within you support that you are ceremony and that you are a walking altar of sacredness. Let me share what negative energies you allow in from the outside influence your ceremony and can decrease the sacredness of your altar. You are an amazing ceremony. You are a living altar. Honor that you are ceremony. Honor that you are a living altar. Enjoy, I enjoy. Enjoy this Bridgewalker program from deep within. Let these energies touch your essence. Michele always has her wise wisdom to share, and Mr. Sparkle Ruse has a song and a deep more for you, and Rev has a few more things to share. Let me share. Thank you for being here with us on Removing the Veils of Fear, a Ceremony of Love. Namaste.
So good. I am a bridge of love. That was great. Thank you so much, RevNed. Your videos just bring tears to my eyes every single time. There's so much power and magic that you bring in that. And I love how you say that, how that we're each a bridge of pure love, and our life is ceremony, and we get to choose what our ceremony is each day. And that makes so much sense. We get to choose. Are we going to be in fear? Are we going to be in anger? Are we going to be in shame? And it's so important that we know that we remember that in this place of love that we stand, it's all of that is a part of that love. And we can let it rule, or we can let love rule, because life is life, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That there towards the end, when I'm saying you're a bridge of love and you're a living altar, a butterfly. I even noticed it when I was filming it, and you could see its path and going around me. It was like perfect timing for the altar to have something so sacred like that.
Wow. And that beautiful butterfly. I know in my teachings that is, and all teachings, many teachings, the butterfly is that transformation, and it's freedom through transformation, right? Oh, that's amazing. I love
Becoming
it.
becoming your authentic self.
Mm-hmm. Oh, oh my gosh, it's so cool. And and I love that too, because I was actually taking notes when you were, I always do that. I take notes when you're in your video, because it's just so good. And I realize I could go back and watch it again, but it's so good. I always want to write it down. And I like how you say too that fear is a signpost, right? It's like fear happens. We all feel it. It's not that we're not supposed to feel what we feel. That's part of authenticity, is feeling what we feel and honoring those feelings, and not having to push them aside or say they're bad or stuff them down, which what I know most of us do, especially when we're younger, right? We push those feelings down. We're not supposed to feel that. We're not supposed to be angry at our parents. We're not supposed to, be afraid. We have to be courageous, and we stuff and stuff and stuff. And it's so important that we understand that feeling is okay. It's okay to feel. It's what you do with those feelings, right? You can have fear and love in that same moment, and you can choose the fear or choose the love. You can choose the anger and act on the anger, or you can choose to act on the love. And every time you choose love, every time you choose that ceremony, it imbues everything else within you with that love. And anger begins to dissipate. Fear begins to dissipate. Those veils begin to be removed when we imbue everything that we think of as bad or negative, or I shouldn't be that. Because I know that's one of the things that growing up, and I didn't realize until I was like 45 years old, that I had so much anger inside of me. I was angry. I was angry at my mom from like 3 years old when she wouldn't give me the popcorn I wanted. I used to have dreams about it. And it's those little things, right? When we're kids, it's not always a big, huge thing. Sometimes it's little small things that get in there, they get stuck in your craw, right?
Yes.
And it builds and it builds, and it becomes angry. And we become angry. And I used to have a friend of mine, she'd always go, "How come you're so angry?" And I would get so angry at that. I'm like, "I'm not angry. I am a spiritual teacher. I'm not angry." And I had to sit back and go, "You know what? I am really angry." And I had to look at what that was. But every single thing that popped up to show me what I'm angry at, and it was a lot, there was that lesson there, right? It's like, what was that popped up? Who was that? Why did that happen? What was going on around it? What do I have to learn from this? Or how can I be blessed from this. And when I started looking at all this from that point of love, and it was really self-love, right? It was like, I love myself. I don't want to be angry anymore. And I certainly don't want to be angry that other people can notice it and maybe be hurt by my anger. And started coming up in all these little things, Mom didn't give me the popcorn because I didn't need to be eating popcorn, right? Dad said no to the car I wanted because I probably would have driven off a cliff and killed myself. I wanted a sports car. He bought me a Volkswagen. I was so mad. I wouldn't even drive the car for the first 6 months I had it. I was so mad at him because I wanted that little sports car. And, we lived in windy roads. I am pretty sure at 16 years old, I would have flown right off a cliff, right? All those little things. And it's so important that we give ourselves the opportunity to feel them, let them come up. And it hurts, to think that you've been angry, or it hurts to feel that anger again. But as we grow, we mature spiritually, as we allow love to be a part of our daily ceremony, right? We can look at these things, we can dissipate those energies, we can remove those veils by loving ourselves enough to take a look at it.
When I worked at the university, I managed graduate international housing. I was on many committees. I was on councils that reported directly to the president. We dealt with getting rid of people's fears of racism, classes, whatever it may have been, whatever hate they had. And my life was threatened many, many times at the university. And sometimes I knew who these people were, sometimes I didn't. And, it brings up those energies of fear. I had somebody who was a weapons expert that said that he was going to get rid of me. And I know he could do that from 3/4 mile away.
Ooh.
And that happened for many, many years. I've had a bullet right where I sit and drive. There's a bullet in the panel between the front and the back seat that they were trying to get me. But if I let fear rule all of that, what would have happened? I would have looked like I would be aiding that fear.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I said that in the video. I embrace it. I look at it. What can I learn from this? There were very deep lessons of things I had to deal with personally to turn that fear into perfect love.
Yeah.
And some of those relationships changed. Took some time, but changed. Still some to go, but love is an amazing, amazing, divine, pure love of divine energy that we're connected to. And it can blossom and expand and grow within us. It really can.
Yeah. And anger, too, is just another expression of that fear. It's another way that it expresses itself. Anger tends to be a kind of an aggressive form of protection from that fear. If there was no fear, we wouldn't have to be angry, right?
That's true. That's
Wow.
very, very true.
And that anger can also stem from its origin. It's just love misunderstood, misrelated, misaligned.
Yeah.
It's just not. It hasn't seen eye to eye yet. Not that it's not even. It's not. It's a frustration that there's a lot of frustration that can be involved in that misalignment. If it's conditional or whatever. And we need to feel these things. We need to feel them. We need to process them. And see what they need to teach us.
Yeah.
That's what they're here for, and not to boss us around. There's a significant difference between being bossed around and allowing love to grow and guide, because love should guide. No egos, ruling anywhere, other than but like at the same time, us stepping into our proper ceremony, and I I like Rev's words, we're living altars, and and like a lot of people don't even know what, they don't I mean, what's the ceremony? Is it something we participate in, or is it something that and like where's the beginning and end of these altars? Who gets them, why, and being that's very factually accurate to say we're living altars, because our thoughts and feelings, that those are the regulators for they're the filters for what gets through. It's the priorities placed in a sacred space, with it in a physical yet conscious, physical, spiritual, and conscious, relations all at once, not just one, just one thing that, something to put on an altar, like what's in a, and so there's, altars are not, they should not, well, everybody's got their own perceptions on that, but like, if our ego is what's most high on that thing, then like it needs to get tipped over, honor should rule all relations in our life, in accordance with the love demonstrated and contractually consented to, whether spiritually or just whatever, and that's the thing is we don't, our lives are too short to have anything less than love rule any and every relation in it. And I just I just want real relations with real people, and share these real experiences, and our own personal perspectives of their authenticity. Altars are not, they are what we are the ones that define all that should be there. They're not, if we say that they're outside and only there, then we're not, it's not this accurate relation, so, but it's a beautiful thing, fumbling our way into accepting that as gracefully as possible. And that's what we're here. That's what we're trying to do, and I think a lot of these things that are before us, they're there to help us, help hone and guide our love towards the way it needs to be. And like, ego, just, I hear you, but you can't rule authenticity.
Yeah, it's powerful to be in that place too, when you can recognize when what we call ego, or some of those emotions begin to want to take over. They're sneaky. They can be sneaky. There's sneak in there, and all of a sudden it's like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? But it's that acknowledging. And I know as we're talking too, one of the things that's in my mind is, it takes a certain amount of maturity, just emotional maturity, to begin to even recognize this stuff. So often the first 30 years of our life are just on automatic pilot, right? We're doing we're doing the programming, we're doing all the things we're supposed to. We're obeying parents, we're obeying teachers, we're going to school, we're having our first loves, we're finding out who we are, we're having our first scraped knees and our first broken hearts and our first betrayals. And, and we go through this, and this is life, and this is how it is. But once we begin to mature and we begin to be like, well, you know what, I'm not 100% happy, and I've got some blocks. And, I've heard people at 23 years old say, I am never going to love again. It's like, oh, honey, no. Because it hurts so bad. But it takes going through the hurts and the trials of life. But it's so important too that everybody have someone in their life that is that presence of love, right? And so often it is the grandparents, right? It's the elders. It's those ones who have gone through all of the youth and all of the struggles. And it's hard growing up. It's tough, especially in modern age when there's so much that's expected. The standards are set so high they're unobtainable. So everybody feels that failure and that fear of, if I'm not good enough, I'm not going to be loved. That's a lot of the driving energy behind marketing, behind a lot of things. If you don't have that car, that boyfriend, those shoes, that handbag, right? Take that vacation. If you don't get that degree from that school, all of that, it's that fear of not succeeding, not being good enough, not being loved because we're not good enough, that drives so many people. And I think it's really important that we all kind of acknowledge that, and also that we acknowledge that it does take a while for people to start realizing, wait a minute, maybe this isn't working, but also to acknowledge the love of the elders and the honoring of the elder. And I find in our culture, we don't honor the elders like we should, and like we used to, or like to think we used to, right? And I say that as an elder now, I can say that. Honor me. No, but as a grandmother, we're here to bring that love. And as each of us begin to think of our life as a ceremony, and think of our life as, maybe we had anger and fear and hatred on our altars. We can take those off at any time and replace it with love. And the more that we do that, we become that presence of love in the world. And we become that beacon of love for those that are trying to navigate this crazy world that we're living in right now. I mean, just the insanity of everything, and just kind of the backwards thinking that is happening right now. But that beacon of love, that presence of love, is what is going to shift that. And it's so, I love, we've got so many people here right now listening to this, just being here, being open to the concept of understanding. First of all, you have to love yourself, to be able to do that. And we keep saying, love yourself. That's where God is. It was so cool. That's where it is. We have to start by loving ourselves, and we become that beacon, that radiant energy in the world. I had an experience a couple of weeks ago, being around somebody that was so loving and so just that pure love. And she was sassy, she had a little F-bomb here and there. She wasn't like, but she radiated that love. And it was just like a balm, it's like, oh, this is so good. This is so good. Thank you for blessing my life, and just coming in, and it almost shifts your own frequencies, right? And that's part of the ceremony of love that we're talking about. And, if you're here watching this, whether you're watching it live or not, you're drawn to that because you are that. Even though you think maybe you aren't, you think maybe, oh, I need the love. You are magnetically drawn to this because you are that love. We're created in that love. It's our nature. It's what spirit is. It's what soul is. It's what, whatever we want to call that. It's all in all of us. And it's what most of us are seeking, no matter how backwards and flipped over it is. Debbie made it. Luana's here. And whatever flipped up backwards way we're seeking it, that is what we're all seeking. And it's so important that we let our altar be that altar of love, that our daily ceremony be that ceremony of love. And is it going to be perfect? No. Are we going to flip off the guy that cut us off getting on the freeway? Probably. But that's okay. That's okay. Because we move it back into that holy place of love. And we say, dear love, I am. Please bless that person that I just flipped off, right? That they have the most wonderful day ever, right? You can take that middle finger off the altar and replace it with love at any moment.
You send them the dove bird.
Yeah, exactly. caw, caw. So it's
You know,
not perfection.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, it's not perfection. When we talk about love, it isn't that perfection that we're talking about.
Our language, the English language, is so shallow when it comes to the word love. I love this food. I love this drink. Oh, I love to get even with that person. I love my wife. Many languages around the world have specific words for specific types of love. I'm over my 40th year and teaching on pure love. And so many people think love has strings attached, conditions have to be met. That's more of a what we would say an eros love is. That's why you say I love a hamburger. You have attachments to it. But when you can love without attachments, without strings, without any conditions have to be met, because that's something flowing from you, from the divine, that becomes an atmosphere changer. You become a thermostat. Most people, again, so many precious people are thermometers. They just radiate what the atmosphere, what they're hearing, what they're saying. But we are truly created to be atmosphere changers, even beyond a room, even beyond the space that we live in. That energy goes out. That's something we need to think about. The energy we have in the thoughts and the mouth and the actions, it goes. It goes. The higher ones have told us that it goes out.
Yeah.
And the more we throw out there, it's amazing what can happen, what comes back to us when we love that way.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Even through creation, we have different hummingbirds this year than the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh, interesting.
And it hasn't been real friendly. And when I was talking to Sparkles, the thing went between me and the computer screen. I don't know if I was being mesmerized, and then it'd get right here and just flitter, and that's like it was like thanking me for feed. The wife and I feed it. There's 2 of them now that come around. You say, "Hey, Rev, the old man, how you doing? We love you."
And they do. Nature speaks to us too, huh?
Yes.
So fun. We want to welcome everybody that's popping on right now, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, yeah. So good.
Before the show, we had Buster on, everybody.
Buster Blue.
Is Dana's four-legged. And I came across this quote, and it doesn't have anybody's name to it. But this quote says, the only creatures that are evolved enough to convey pure love are dogs and infants.
I think cats would disagree.
Oh, yeah, I see. It says C note A, cats included.
Cats love themselves. Cats have no problem loving themselves. Anything after that, good luck.
Yeah. And the rest, all y'all, you're just subservient. You gotta love them. You gotta love them. They teach you. Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun.
This is.
Yeah. This is so great. Thank you all for being here. We have so many people here, and we love your comments too. That's why I love putting them up on the screen. We've got Engaged Reiki here. And I want to share, I hope it's okay, just show what he's saying here. And he's saying the ancient bitterness affected my heart and had me not wanting to teach for some times. And he's saying it's good for him to be he's saying it's good for me to be with you. And it's good for us to be together. Yeah. It's good for us to be together. We have to remind each other, when we're alone out there in the world, the matrix, it doesn't reflect back that true love that we are. And, frankly, I don't think it's designed to. I think it's designed to reflect back the shadow aspect, but that's how we're going to grow. Unfortunately, humanity and the way, the way that we're functioning up to now, we're changing so fast now, but we have to, get those little, in order to pay attention, in order to grow. And I feel, there may be, that's part of an aspect of why we come here in the first place. There are so many people on this planet right now in human form that are star seeds and angels, angelic humans, that are really advanced masters, that are, the people call it the 144,000. We got a lot of different words. We, got the indigos, we've got the Ioni, which are the indigo children, and these great embodied masters. And here in Southern California, it's 444 right now while we're talking about this. We have these great angelic beings here, but we still have to come through the veil, right? So what we're talking about now is this veil, removing the veils. And we still come in, we have that veil, and we still have to find who we are. And as we're doing that, though, it's becoming more and more powerful in this evolution, in removing the veils. And the veils being removed earlier and earlier too. There are some children, that are walking around here that are like, wow, you little Christs and little Buddhas that, come in with the veil removed. And so many of you guys that are here too, you're the great masters that are so courageous and so powerful. And so I'm going to use the word advanced because it keeps popping in my head. You have that love in there. You are that love, that presence of love. And you're here. And you're here literally right now to share with us in the ceremony of love, and to lay this altar, set this altar up as an altar of love, so that we can bring this out to a hurting world. And we don't have to go out and save everybody. We just need to be our love, right? That's one of the things that was good news to me, because I always thought I had to go out and save everybody. And people are like, get off of me. I don't want your stuff. Stop. And it took me a while to realize, it's like, wait a minute, I need to bring that in and just be that love. And those that are ready then can, start coming in.
Loosening up that definition of the word love is, it's like that in itself is, heck, how many lifetimes could it take to attempt to master that? Good luck, because there's always new circumstances, and those that are closest to us are the ones that bring that they hold these keys. They, there's gifts in there, and sometimes what we say, well, how what we think is love, it never really was at all, but like that was what that's what we were, but we loved. Yeah. And I absolutely relate with that, because when I thought that love abused me, like I shut down too, until I tuned my fork, my frequency, until it had an opportunity to witness the flowers and smell and there does require a space to disassociate what never really was. And we all have these built up convolutions of and definitions of what we think that ought to look like, but pushing them all aside, and purity prevailing, allow yourself the grace and the time to accept. And me personally, what I thought was love wasn't, and that's even though I loved, like when the reciprocation isn't so much there, then like my definition gets flipped on its head, just simply through through that upside downness. So love wouldn't have done that. Love wouldn't have done that.
Right.
And we are sacred, and retracting ourselves and our frequency until it gets back to, it's like pruning a vegetable, it's like pruning the suckers off a vegetable plant. You're going to produce a better fruit once all those things are done. And like those, it does hurt a little bit, like removing those sucker aspects of things. But the more that we do fine tune ourselves, the higher of a frequency we got. Our fruit is producing more lusciously. It tastes better than before. It's bigger, and it's, while we're still discombobulated out of what we thought was supposed to be love, we're not ready for what like that real the love that's waiting for us. We got to accept it within ourselves, because that's how we see it through others, is through through that alignment, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that love guides all relations in my life. It's just about the only unconditional condition I got.
Well, Dana, I'm cracking up because we've been talking about, we come up with some sayings and stuff. We're like, oh, there's a T-shirt, Bridgewalker merch, right? And Dana, I think you just did another one, prune the suckers. You see the T-shirt, prune the suckers.
Prune the suckers. We got better fruit to produce. So get her done. And we if the more we do, I mean, our own love is waiting for us, and that's all that all this stuff is.
Yeah.
And if and I'm secure enough in my own where it doesn't matter where I am. I can smile. I could smile and have a conversation with anything. It doesn't matter, and doesn't matter what anyone would like to classify it as. I think I'm still a few steps behind the RevNed over here, but I'm trying to catch up. I don't know, a couple more decades maybe.
Sparklers, Sparky. I want to share something that I think is very important for people, because a lot of people, we just put love with human beings or with pets. The videos we did for June and July are at the Grove and on the Spirit Path. And we've done so much ceremony, land healing, we call it weaving the land, that this love has grown. When I was there filming for these 2 episodes of Bridgewalkers, as soon as I pull in, well, we're laying down tobacco all the way to get back to there, and being thankful and honoring the corn people were growing. But they were little when I filmed those, and they love and return. The entities and the energies love. Mother Earth and her children love like that. But we don't know that. And here in our little 5 acres, we treat it with so much respect. We do land weaving all the time on the land, and it affects the birds, the hummingbirds. We feed the birds. It affects our horses, the 2 horses that we have, and our dogs, but the animals that come. I saw, I don't think I've shared this on Bridgewalkers, but one day we just come from a powwow over at the Wolf Preserve, and I just bought a choker made out of coyote bone. So I'm on the lawnmower with this coyote bone, and this grass, and we're cutting the neighbor's back of their lot, their 5 acres, and the coyote's coming this way, and there's trees and weeds here, and I'm coming this way, and we meet. And it was on GNC supplements or something. It was huge. And it looked at me. It was like it knew I had that choker on. And it walked around the lawnmower where it could get to me really easy, where you get on and off the lawnmower. And I just started talking to that. At first, the little fear kind of popped, that's a coyote. it looks hungry. But I just started talking to it in love.
Yeah.
And its ears didn't lay back down. They came up. The tail went in a normal position. And I said, I'll pray for you and bless you. And it went on its way. I bet we weren't this far apart nose-wise when it walked up to me. This far. It was love. It was pure love for that coyote. And it sensed something. It sensed something. It didn't like the choker. I think that's what it was. But he let me go this time. He let me go this time.
That's my family bones right there. Uncle Fred, is that you?
I know that's you.
Because I was coming from a powwow, and and I love powwows, and I have friends that are dancing there, and you get involved, and it's really, really good energy. And then that happens, and it just, there's something at the base level in all of us. Yeah. Where that pure love again, we're thermostats, whether we're outside in the woods, in the water, whatever elements we're in, and they'll react to that. They do. They react to that.
Yeah. That is one way that we've kind of so much of us, especially those of us that live in the less rural areas, have lost our connection to experience love from nature and with nature too. You don't find that in the city. You don't find it so much in the suburbs. I always have my one tree, that I can at least go and hug. I got a little patch of grass, and I got my tree that I can go hug and talk to it and talk to the birds and stuff. But, nature is one of the ways that reflects back to us and shares with us love when we respect it and honor it and love it too. Just like you did, Rev, because it was funny. It was like, oh no, there's a coyote and it looks hungry. And it was so funny. In the back of my head, I heard you say, and I look delicious. But the words didn't come out of your mouth. And I was like, Michele.
Wearing some barbecue sauce on them bones.
Yummy. Yeah, it's that nature, being in nature. And, that's why in so many of the Native American cultures, you were sent on I know in some cultures they call it the quest, right? Where you go out in nature and you make your way and you find your way and you do it in nature by yourself, and you survive by, learning to be in nature, one with nature, and allowing nature to reflect back to you. And, that beautiful part of growing up is all but lost now. And we all need to go on our quest,
I got to share this story. It's about love.
Yay.
It was getting in the fall, and I was out behind our house, right against the house. And the little garage door, there's a concrete pad there. And between the garage doors and the two big garage doors and the small one to walk in, there was this green, bright green, other colors. Most people say it was poisonous. It's kind of a snake you don't usually see around here, even though we got lakes and ponds and things like that. And people make fun of me because I say animals smile at me. I mean, have you ever had a turkey fly from one side of the road to the other and smile at you? I've had hummingbirds smile at me, but this snake, first reaction was, it looked up at me and had the most lovingest smile. And it went under the concrete pad and hibernated there all winter. Wow. And I would pat it with love when I'd walk on that pad. But instantly I knew about love, because it just, their energies changed for me. And it just looked up at me and just it stopped. And I stopped. And it loved on me. So, okay, you're fine. You can. And then when I would know it went in there, and I knew what it was doing, because it was getting cooler and colder. But even snakes respond to pure love.
Absolutely.
And Sparkles has all kinds of cow stories and sheep stories and chicken stories that we can, another deer.
Even a snake story, actually. And it was, and I could that's a shorty, and it's perfect with this. Coming into our own ceremony, what does that even mean? Sometimes it's a good luck. Sometimes like all that you can do is cry and put your forehead on the ground. You make a sacred fire. Like in this particular case, there was just I was hit with this vibration fit that was just like radiating my cells apart in this way that just I was crying. It forced me into this space of like physical to spiritual discombobulation, but there was a lot going on at the time, and none of it was understood. But I'm crying, and like, if spirits like really working you over good, what else is there to do? I don't know. Make a fire. Let me make a fire, because like, that way that's a portal. It's an activation agent. It's a sacred relation from the inside out. It's an inside. When we make a sacred fire, that's an inside out job. That's an inside out job. And like the whole time that you're watching that thing in front of you, or it's going, and you're tending it, it's tending you. It's tending you. And like sometimes that fire can speak. And during this particular time, like I had to start with that fire, and and I had to put my forehead down on basically the north side, like it had to be in the north on the ground, and it's just about 20 minutes of just of this ground, just constant grounding, just forehead directly to Mother Earth. Like there was I didn't have to process, think. I didn't have to like speak in these human ways. Like I just had to share all that was like directly through my forehead, and so that's what I did. And I didn't get up until it took about after about 20 minutes of this physical spiritual discombobulation. It's like, okay, you're good, and so I get up. I'm still wondering what's going on, and I literally took 1 to maybe 2 steps from that fire, because I'm still in a, why did I just put my head on the ground for 20 minutes? Because like, when you're a conduit for all that is, like, you act sometimes, and it's not because there's a school somewhere that taught you how to. It's because you're just related. You don't have a choice, and it's coming through you. It's going to come through you. And like, if you honor it right, you can stay clean. It'll purify you, strengthen you, embrace you, secure you with all you never understood you were. And like that's exactly what happened during this experience. So I get up, and within 2 steps, I turn around, I look back, and here's this snake that's about 4 feet long, like exactly where my forehead was playing on the ground. And it's sitting there looking at me, like it's been there for 20 minutes straight. But no, my forehead was just there, not 10 seconds ago, not 10 seconds ago. And snakes don't just come in. They're not a dog. They don't come to you. They don't follow in that way. They're not there till they're supposed to be, because they feel everything around. That's how they live. They're always related to the ground and all of its electromagnetic capacities, and if trees like can network an entire forest, don't we think that snake's not doing the same thing? But this snake was, and snakes are not, they're not just these dark figures. They're, there is that wisdom expression with these snakes, they're in, and if you can bypass that fear, then it'll get through your ears and right straight into your heart. And it just makes you smile because because you're related and you can't help it. There isn't, like fear is not a part of that equation. And like, there's no day that you ain't ready to face whatever it may be, and that's all we want to do here with this show is to help you guys figure out how, like let spirit flow through you and support your spirit in the ways where you get to act how you need to when you're supposed to, because that's what spirit needs out of us. It doesn't need us to act impersonally. It needs our person. It needs our person to shift this personal reality. And I do sing passionately because I am significantly passionate about doing that. And so are these two, and I love them very much for putting this together.
Well, you are one of the brotherhood here. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. We want to welcome Jason is here now too. Got so many beautiful, wonderful people. Dana, are you ready for a song?
Sure.
All right. I'm just going to invite everybody to take a nice deep breath and just start moving into this place. I just, we've just received so much medicine from, I'm just hearing the words of the all, and Rev's wisdom and Dana's wisdom, and it's like we're sitting in this space now together, and it's time for a song. It's time for a song. It's time for that blessing. Dana, we are so grateful that you bring this in for us.
You're welcome.
So let's all take a nice deep breath.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Tonga Shela Leung Echa Sata Chano Beke Tonga Shela Oh yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah, Shela Leung Aho, sacred voice in there. Sacred pipe. That's a sacred pipe song. Sacred voice. This is, now you got it. There you go. I love you all. Thank you.
Oh, I just invite everybody to really breathe in that energy. Just breathe in, and I invite each of you to every day take a moment, hands over your heart, and just speak to yourself and just say, I love you. Loving yourself, I love you. Let that be your medicine. Let that be your ceremony. I love you. Let that be what you lay on your altar every day. I love you. I love you. And when you start sending that energy to yourself, it begins to radiate out into the world. And that's where true change is going to happen. I love you. Mm. Take a nice deep breath in. Breathe that love in. As you exhale, you breathe that love out. Breathe that love in. I love you. Breathe that love out. And together, sharing this ceremony on a daily basis. This is where magic happens. We're so grateful for each and every one of you that are here, whether you're here live or watching after. We love you. We love you. We are so honored that you share this sacred ceremony with us each month. That we come together in this holy place. We share sacred ground together. Thank you. Thank you for being the love that you are in this world. We love you so much. And we'll see you all next month. Know that Rev and Dana and I hold you in our prayers. We see you as love. We're always with you. Oh, and we're so grateful. We're so grateful for you. Mwah. Stay sparkly. And we'll see you next week. Or next month. Maybe next week. You never know.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
We love you.
Love you. Thank you.